What's up, guys? I'm back. So this is a whole nother day. Yesterday I was working on the VR4. I ran out of time and I had to leave. And I really wanted to show you guys my Datsun 510, which I have right here with me. So I'm gonna be doing like kind of like a walk around of it and showing you everything that I've done and what I should be doing to the car. So let me start with what it is, right? Let me just start showing it to you. So I'll start with the outside. So the front fenders, they are fiberglass. The front lip and that panel is also fiberglass. So is this fender. You can see those fenders are not really stock OEM replacements. They are fiberglass, but they also have a wider fender, so kind of like a wide body, you can say. Same thing with the rear flares. Also fiberglass. So you can see this car's kind of rough. This car, somebody, previous owner, welded a plate to block the turning signals. These tail lights, actually they're supposed to be in the outside mounted. He actually welded some rods and flush mounted it to the body, which I really like. Same thing with the rear bumper will go. Everything's just being completely welded and sealed to have that flush mount. And I know this is not a perfect job. I know it's I wouldn't say ghetto, but I really like the patina on this car. I like everything about it. I like every paint peel that it has. I like every rust that the car has. I mean, I like the fact that there has been some silicone attached to it so it won't leak inside, and it doesn't. This car doesn't leak at all inside. I mean, look at this. I mean, this is a really rough car. Everything about it, every corner of this car, I like the way it is. I've owned this car for about 9 years now, and I've had plenty of chance to get the bodywork fixed and painted. I just don't want to. I really like the way it looks right now. I wouldn't change it for anything. Even if somebody offers me a free paint job, I still wouldn't do it. I really like the way it is. The only thing that I just discovered is that my gas cap seems like it got run over somehow. Like, this is really so beat up that now when I fill up, the gas spills. So I have to buy a new one of these. Unfortunately, I really like how beat up it is. And this car used to be green, lime green. I really like that color. I've thought about painting it that color, but I just cannot let this go. I really can't. I believe this door is orange. This cap latch that's broken again, it was orange, but everything else was green.
What's up, guys? I am back, and I'm here to tell you that today is the last day to get 6 entries to win our beautiful 3000 GT VR4. Now, if you're interested in that and you want to learn a little bit more about throtlVIP, check out the link. It is always in the description. That's all I got for you guys today. Now back to the video.
I found out about 4 years ago, talking to a good friend of mine that knows the history of this car from way back to when, that this car was actually involved in a rollover. So the car, this side of the car, I believe, is the one that was actually on this side. And I didn't know this in the time of purchase. And it does explain a lot of things. It explains why he decided to go with the fiberglass fenders and stuff like that. And it explains, because you don't really see frame damage, but you do see this right here. I don't know if you can see it because of the lightning, but right there, you see that bent? It explains that. So I believe it when they told me this thing was involved in a rollover. And it also explained why after you're doing 70 or above, the car literally just starts to shake, like the chassis cannot handle the power that the rotary engine is producing. In the front, you guys see the wheels. The wheels are actually 16 by 8 and they're square all the way around. And they're XXRs 531s, and it's wrapped up on Federal tires. The Federal tires, I do have thinner tires in the front and the back. I got 40 profiles in the front, and I believe I got 45 in the back. Yep, and that's due because this flare doesn't really match that one. It's a different style flare, and when I had the 40 in the back, it just looked way too small. So I decided to go with something a little bit beefier, and it kind of closes out that big, huge gap that it has on the flare. And when it comes to the vibration on the car after, you know, 70 miles per hour, it's not balancing. I've done the bushings, I've even balanced the drive shaft. I mean, I've done everything I can to make this thing drive smooth. Has it gotten smoother? Of course it has. Yes, it did. I mean, all that stuff worked, but it wasn't good enough. So I know for a fact it's gonna be, and it's been aligned multiple times, and I know it's gonna be just because of the rollover. So there's something going on, which is fine. I've been driving it for the past 9 years like this, and I'm not complaining. I'm used to it. Let me show you the inside of the car. So I'll explain all these chaos that I have going on here. So when I first purchased the car, the tunnel for the engine swap, it was completely open. So I did fiberglass the tunnel, and it's all been molded in, and I was gonna put sound deadening all the way back. I did run out of sound deadening because I bought a roll, but this is like my third car I've done with that roll. And doing so, I just stopped, and that was like my first month having it. And after stopping, I guess you can say I got lazy, and I never finished it. I just bought some universal floor mats. I threw them on the floor, and then that was it. That's the last time I touched the interior, other than this cup holder. You know me, I have to have my Coke with me, Coca-Cola, and me holding the Coke in the side, or you know, putting this up, it was just impossible. So I fabbed this out of just basic plywood that I found in my garage, and I just threw that in there. Don't mind Marvin. Of course, you have to have a fire extinguisher if you have a rotary engine. Yes, this thing has a rotary engine. Oh my god! Make sure you always have that. Rotaries, I'm not saying they tend to catch on fire, but one of my cars caught on fire once, and ever since that day, every single one of my cars have a fire extinguisher. Right under it, under all these rat nets, you see that I have two 6ALs, or two 6A, oh, one 6A or one 6A MSD boxes, and that's pretty much, it helps out the engine burn of the fuel that this thing is dumping in it. It's wrapped out with an energy steering wheel, and I mentioned this before, but the gauges. This is my speedo gauge. My speedo gauge is 4 miles off. I know that. Can it be fixed? Of course it can.
Can we fix it? Yes, we can!
But I don't feel like it because I know it's 4 miles off. This gauge right here, this is actually a GM gauge, and so it's reading backwards. For Nissans, empty has to read at 90 ohms and full has to read at 0 ohms. I was desperate that day when I was doing these gauge swaps, and I broke my original fuel gauge. So I just went to the corner store, and the only thing they had was the GM, and GM is the total opposite. It's 0 ohms for empty and 90 ohms for full. I know it's backwards. I know full is empty, empty is full, so I don't really, it doesn't bother me at all. RPM. The RPM gauge, this is for a V8. I didn't know that at the time of purchase, and the owner didn't know that you couldn't convert it to a 4-cylinder. In this case, you cannot. This is a strictly V8 gauge, so it reads half. So when I'm at 2,000 RPM, the car is actually at 4,000 RPM. Does it bother me? No, I'm used to it. Could I fix it? Of course, a couple of $100 and I can throw another gauge in. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Now, when somebody else drives it, like someone that I know, Eli, my boy, I let him borrow my car, and he thought it was full, and he actually ended up running out of gas. Maybe if I find a clip, maybe I'll throw it in there. That's pretty funny. What happened, bro?
What happened? You need to fix the stupid fuel gauge.
It works. It's backwards. Full is empty, empty is full. Oil pressure gauge works just fine, and water temp gauge works just fine. This was here when I bought it with this Pioneer deck, and it has some interesting speakers back there. Only the outside two works, the center one doesn't work. It is good enough for me. I was a big car audio guy back in the day. I actually used to install, and I used to own my own car audio shop, and I'm just over it. It's just like two speakers, and if it doesn't have a speaker, I use a Cove speaker in my car, and if I don't have the Cove with me, I just throw some headphones on. I don't, my steering wheel is loose. That I have to fix today. And of course, my 10-year-old Puerto Rican flag. If you're Puerto Rican, you know what I'm talking about. We have to have a flag in there. I don't know why we do it, but we have to. We represent 100% todo el tiempo. Anyways, I have this, I guess this golf cart mirror. It's like a 5 glass mirror that you can literally buy now anywhere. This is more old school style. I like this style, and I actually wanted to find a wood cover one. I think that would be pretty nice to have, but you can't find that anywhere. That was back in the 90s that you can buy this thing with completely covering wood and coated. It's very nice. So my style for this one was to have that. Oh, the seat. The bride seat was actually given to me by the guy, Brandon, which is the guy that sold me my RX-7, my FD. He just gave me the spare seat, and I just threw it in here. It's very, very comfortable. I don't know if it's real or not, but it's extremely comfortable. It's not going anywhere. And last but not least, let's go to the engine bay. And here she is. This is a 12A Rotary. That's right, 12A Rotary, not a 13B. And I am in love with 12As. 12A Rotary is probably one of the strongest rotary engines you can probably buy or build, man. These things are bulletproof. They're extremely, extremely strong. It will last you for, I mean, I've had this car for 9 years, and I know the guy before me, Ron, already had it built for at least 3 or 4 years. So you're looking at 13-year motor right here. I'll say 10. I mean, I've owned it for 9, and I know, you know. So I'll say I'll give you guys 10-year build. At least 10 years to be on the safe side. But this thing starts right up every time. I know it's got different wires. One of them went bad, so I had spare ones in my house, threw it in there, it worked, and that's it. I never changed it again. I did modded this. I put an L brace in here, and I welded it to the top part of the steering column. That keeps everything steady, and it helps with the vibration. That made a huge difference. Of course, I know catch can. It's just one of those ghetto ones that you can buy anywhere. Let's see, that is a Holley 650 carburetor, but it's been modified with Racing Beat modified it for a rotary application. The lubrication for the apex seals, the oil injection system. The oil metering pump pumps oil from the oil pan into some oil injections. Actually, not in this case, I forgot it's carburetor. It goes into the carb, and it actually mixes fuel and oil into the rotor housing so you can keep the apex seals lubricated. I still do premix on the side, I do. That's my oil cooler, my aluminum radiator, and it's just the overflow. You know me, I'm picky about wiring, but for some reason, this doesn't bother me. And it only doesn't bother me because it's working so far. If something were to happen here that it will not work, then I guarantee you all this will change. But so far, so good. And let me just explain you this. If Mickey were to see, Mickey have seen this car, but he's seen it parked somewhere. He's never actually seen it. If he sees this car, he'll probably have a heart attack. Oh, the suspension. This thing has Techno-Toy tuning camber plates and suspension in the front. And the suspension is actually from a 280ZX. That's the front suspension and brakes. They're bigger, they're better, and you're able to lower it a lot more. That's what it looks like in the front. It's not an intercooler, it's just my radiator. This is like my best mod ever. Chicken wire from Home Depot. And then the Sylvania, obviously, headlights. I love the glass look. I like the rust on it. I like the retro style. Jap rod, I mean patina, whatever you want to call it. I just love it. Can I clean this? Of course I can, but I won't. I like the roughness. I like how dirty this is. I mean, this thing, when I first got the motor of the car, this was completely polished. This is a polished aluminum piece, and it's just, I don't know, I just like the way it looks now. But I was like, oh yeah, you guys gotta see the trunk. Yeah, I made it in my house.
Yeah. I think
like my zip tie.
What is your problem, man?
Yeah, bro.
Rick modding, dude.
Well, the screw fell off, so you know me, zip tie king,
yeah,
and I just zip tied it.
Perfect for throttle.
Vacuum caps. Send it.
That's dope.
Boys, want to hear it?
Seeing it without all the turbo chunk on it.
I know, just seeing the bare motor open.
Yeah.
This right here. Yeah, I love it, man. Bare minimum to have it on the road. Alternator, starter, carburetor, send it.
Seriously.
Yep. That's pretty good. Calvin, you're next. Oh, this lip right here, I know it looks like it's off because it is. This lip is actually supposed to be sitting lower. I can't put it on lower because there's no more fiberglass left. I'm assuming when it was that low, it got ripped off somewhere, and they ripped off the hooks for where it used to bolt on now. So I just raised it a little bit higher. Let me show you the back. Obviously gas tank, battery relocation. This panel, it's just a big piece of sheet metal. You know, that's where the spare tire goes, but when I bought the car, there was no spare tire and there was no spare tire floor. So it's just one big open space. So when 10 years ago, when I first started welding, and when I mean welding, I mean day two, I bought metal from Home Depot, and I kind of like built kind of like a frame. And then I just laid this on top of it with sound deadening. And it's been doing the job since 9 years ago. It's a bucket. I keep jumping cables here, premix, funnel, and a bunch of rags, and a bottle, right? To mix it. Probably thinking, why a bucket when it's gonna be sliding around? No, sir. This thing, I just cracked it. This thing is bolted down to the floor. This doesn't go anywhere. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. That's when Mick is really gonna lose his mind. I bought the car like this. It doesn't bother me. I never had anything in the trunk. But that is something that I do want to fix. I really do. I want that fixed. I want that sealed. And I want to really cover this up and make it look nice. Not too nice. Not too nice because I don't want it to look too good. Not for this car. I want this car to be still kind of his patina look. So there you have it. This is my 510. Like I said before, 1972 Datsun 510 two-door coupe with a 12A rotary. So we'll go for a quick spin so you guys can see it and hear it. Oh, dude, you should show my, look at my gas, but I forgot to show you guys that. When I bought the car, it didn't have a pedal. It was just a stick. So that's Home Depot piping, not Home Depot, Home Depot metal. And I just welded freaking knot right there. That's my pedal, and I'm sticking with it. So this car is very, very easy to drive. There's nothing hard about it. There's no hard clutch, there's no hard pedals, gas pedal, or anything. It's just basic to drive, very easy. But she is loud. So I mainly want you guys to hear the engine. Not crazy? I was almost 9,000 RPM. She revs, baby. She revs. Let's see if we can do that again. Second. Just listen. Who wouldn't like to drive this? This thing is awesome. I love it. Smell the Apex seals lubricating in the fuel. Best smell ever. I know this thing stays cool, dude. 160.
There's a cop over there on the motorcycle. Did you see him? To my right?
Oh, yeah, I see.
Is it coming back to get me, or am I walking? Oh, here he comes.
What do you guys think? Comment down below, please.
Yeah, we'll get one of those flashes to play with you.
Hopefully you guys are satisfied with that. If you're not, just let me know any different ideas that you guys may have. If I missed something,